Fortnite Battle Royale is getting roasted. From the Kai Cenat icon reveal to a season littered with problems, today we'll explain what's going wrong. Because the second Kai Cenat appeared on the giant sphere in Las Vegas, Fortnite fans have been having a meltdown. Social media went into uproar over how much money Epic Games had just spent to put Kai on this ball for a single day. Yeah, the average rate costs over $450,000. On one side of the community were confused why Epic would spend so much money just to reveal a dude in a tank top. Others thought this was the worst timing for the announcement to happen. You see, at the same time this whole sphere thing was going on, Kai was already going through heated drama with Aiden Ross over not spending money on Team Water, and then being slow at building a school in Nigeria. So the consensus was this drama going on made the $500,000 sphere look very tasteless. But I'm gonna be honest here, I don't really see the problem. After all, Epic Games has a marketing budget, and they're gonna spend $500K on promoting the skin anyway, so they just decided to go big. Also, here we are talking about it, so the marketing actually worked. Another batch of players are simply targeting Kai because he's not a Fortnite YouTuber. Although I would argue that Kai has played Fortnite on stream and done more for the game than a lot of the other Icon series skins. Like especially during his marathons and appearing in commercials like Reload, even Ninja rushed to his defense when the backlash got too high.
They're looking at it like other people deserved it more, or people that actually played Fortnite like deserve it more, and it's not the case, right? Like Kai is an icon, so it's not taking place of like a Fortnite creator getting a skin, right? It's an icon skin. He's going to be in the game, and there still could be room for creators in the future.
But the controversy with his icon set only rose when he officially revealed it on stream to include the Ty Lil dance. Nothing wrong with that, even Ty Lil himself was happy to have it in the game, but it's when viewers heard Kai explain this that they started to raise an eyebrow.
Kanye himself had to sign off on this chat. Kanye himself had to sign off on this stuff.
Yes, since the emote uses his music, Kanye and his team had to accept the collab at their end too, which is normally fine, but remember, Epic are the ones who don't bring back emotes for years after any piece of controversy with the artists. So to agree on one with Kanye was definitely a strange choice. And while Kai may have been extremely controversial, he's not the main reason that Fortnite collab's been in hot water lately. Right now, we're gonna talk about the Fortnite creator that's been all over national news.
Breaking news details after a body was found inside a car at a Hollywood tow lot today. But Eyewitness News has learned the 2023 Tesla is registered in Hempstead, Texas to multi-platinum artist and musician David Anthony Burke, known professionally as David.
You see, David is one of the biggest singers in the world right now, and he had recently dropped an official Fortnite anthem in collaboration with Epic Games. So David also has emotes and jam tracks already in the game, a locker bundle, and started making his entire music career making Fortnite montages on YouTube. So what went wrong here? Well, it all started when he was teasing an upcoming icon skin in the recent music video and comments. But 2 days after a song with Epic released, this news story broke and it shocked everyone. There is absolutely zero confirmation right now that David had anything to do with this, and it seems like he was on the other side of the country when this happened, but the whole situation has caused brands to feel uncomfortable. Already, Hollister and Crocs have both paused their collabs with David until the police figured out what happened, and I'm sure that if Epic is planning on an icon series with him, that is probably also delayed. Now, the details are still unclear, but as it unfolds, it's quickly becoming one of the craziest news stories we have ever seen in the community, especially to somebody who was a Fortnite YouTuber. Let's move to a lighter note, because there's a Fortnite collab that just got leaked, and fans are already laughing at Epic Games for this. Everyone knows we've all been waiting forever to see Sonic the Hedgehog in Fortnite. He's easily one of the most iconic gaming characters in history. So when leakers revealed that he was coming to the game later this month, people went nuts. Unfortunately, that was only for a few minutes, because then they heard it would be a sneaker-related collab. Okay, maybe we get Sonic's iconic shoes, that would be pretty cool, but then things got worse when pictures showed the true collab, and yeah, you're looking at it. Puma are releasing 2 pairs of real-life shoes in collaboration with Sonic and Shadow the Hedgehog, and I mean, they look so boring. I guess they're bringing these to Fortnite to promote them, which basically feels like one big middle finger to all the fans who have wanted actual Sonic in the game this whole time. Right now, it's looking like that's all there is to this collab, but I will say things could change. All we know is that if it just Puma kicks after all this time, it'll be a disaster. And as for the general Battle Royale audience, you guys already know there's been a huge decline in players lately, and recently we've seen Fortnite hit the lowest player count since records began. Like, the game is in trouble. There are a ton of reasons that people have for this, but with all the massive fails in BR lately, it's left people asking one question: why is Battle Royale getting no love this season? I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, we finally got One Punch Man in Fortnite, and all 3 of the outfits looked incredible. What failed to appear in all of these images was Saitama actually being fake. You see, when you looked at his skin in game, it secretly had a glitch effect that you can't turn off, all because he's technically invincible. So by bringing him to Fortnite, they had to make a hologram instead. Whether this was Epic's decision or them being forced to do this by the creators, it was a nightmare scenario, and they tried to pull damage control online with this tweet. What's up with the glitch effect? What do you think? Wrong shampoo? Broke reality? Share your funniest headcanon below. Like, even they couldn't explain why it needed the glitch effect and forced fans to come up with their own reason to make it a little easier to digest. Instead, they just got clowned, and I don't know what they were expecting. And that wasn't the only problem with the One Punch Man collab, because while they straight up knocked it out of the park with Saitama's medallion, there was a big issue with it. When you think about it, you get to unlock one-shot pickaxes that destroy builds and players in a single punch. It's hilarious, really shook up the gameplay, so how could you possibly mess this up? Well, the medallion wasn't even in BR. They threw it into Blitz as an exclusive, which is extra controversial because BR is already struggling with the medallion problem. Let's talk about that. Earlier in the season, we had some of the most OP medallions of Chapter 6, and they were terrorizing the loot pool. Instead of nerfing these or trying to come up with a way to balance them, Fortnite decided to go nuclear and just vault them for the rest of the season. At first, fans celebrated because we were finally free of these sweaty items, but here's the problem. This meant that there was basically no replacement and left the game with 0 medallions to look out for. Most players were bummed out that some of the main weapons of the bug season are now completely unattainable. And I don't just mean these medals either. Fortnite also deleted the brand new airstrikes. And the funniest thing is, it was completely avoidable. When the precision airstrike dropped, it was already getting a ton of attention for wiping out entire sections of the map. Like, look at this. Well, things got worse when fans found a way to get around the cooldown. All they did was remember what happened with the dial-a drop years ago, and they just tried the exact same method of dropping and picking it back up. This was the reason the dial-a drop never returned, and this whole time, Fortnite didn't bother to fix it or even test it on the new airstrikes. So thanks to the major oversight, Epic had to delete the airstrikes too, but unlike the dial-a drop, these actually got fixed after just a couple of days. And that's not the only issue BR has had lately, because we also had the disaster of the exotic shockwave launcher. On day 1 of the season, fans discovered this hiding in the vaults, and when they tried to buy it, it took their money, and then nothing happened. Technically, it wasn't meant to be in the game at all. This was an issue that didn't get solved until 2 weeks later, when Epic announced the exotic shockwave was finally unvaulted, and yet it still disappeared when you bought it in a vault. The third time around, a few days later, they solved the problem, but it didn't even matter because then players were hit with a surprise update, replacing it with the shockwave hammer instead. Talk about a disaster. That update would end up making the bug season's theme more useless than ever. The whole point of Shock and Awesome was meant to challenge us and totally change our strategies with bug enemies. But by adding the shockwave hammer, not only was it easier than ever to wipe these guys out, Epic went further by nerfing them. In the very same update, bugs were forced to only deal 1 damage. Like, they might as well not attack at all. No wonder fans are confused. In summary, the season has been a genuine nightmare for Epic, especially when all eyes are on them right now, and even the developers of Helldivers are laughing at them. The second the theme was announced, everyone claimed Epic were just copying them, and that's when the dev straight up posted, "It's giving we have Helldivers at home." So thanks to Battle Royale struggling, everyone's desperate to point out issues with the game. And recently, Epic have been under fire for allowing low-quality creative maps like Steal the Brainrot to overtake BR and players. I mean, especially when they promoted it themselves over their own modes. I made a video breaking down how Steal the Brainrot is killing Fortnite, but it's not just that which is controversial, because Epic has also been called out for using AI-generated photos. One of their Kai Cenat ads shows an AI bush camping photo stolen from a creative map, and fans laughed at this considering Epic could have used the real bush camping loading screen they made years ago. Speaking of loading screens, a lot of people on Reddit have showcased just how silly the tips have gotten. Most of us don't even read these anymore because they're outdated, but it's made even funnier when you realize that some of the loading screens themselves are more helpful than the tips. Now, I gotta cut some slack to Epic here. I'm showcasing all of the problems players have had with this season, but it doesn't mean it's all bad. They've done plenty of great things with amazing crossovers, the new update that finally lets you buy exact V-Bucks, thank you Epic, and listening into players like with the OG Expert mode. The biggest issue with OG when it launched was the sheer amount of bots plaguing matches. There were up to like 10 real players per game sometimes, and fans had enough. So Fortnite came with a solution called Expert mode and a promise to delete bots entirely. Except, while this sounded amazing on day one, we quickly realized it was only for duos capped at 80 players, and your wins didn't give any victory crowns or count towards your stats. And that's not even the worst part, because bots still found a way to invade the lobbies. And despite eventually fixing it, after just a couple of weeks, Epic scrapped the whole mode. So I can't defend bots appearing in the one mode they're banned from, but I do think Epic deleting it says more about the community than Fortnite. After all, it sounds like fans spent this whole time complaining and then didn't even play the mode they wanted, so Epic removed it because of low player counts. It also looks like they're trying to cut costs in other places, because we recently found out that anyone who plays in the OCE region are now banned from playing ranked trios and squads. The reason for it is because there weren't enough people on these modes, and Epic cut the servers to save money. For everyone else, ranked squads will be taken down worldwide at off-peak times, which is a little strange they did this when, according to leakers, they actually have the numbers to fill the lobbies. Then again, how could you look at things like this and just not be terrified for the future of Fortnite? We're seeing official game modes disappearing left, right, and center because barely anyone is playing. And if you play on Xbox, you may have heard about the exploit that has allowed people to get millions of V-Bucks for free. So how'd they do it? Well, a few weeks ago, you could buy currency, ask for a refund through Xbox, and the game wouldn't actually revoke your V-Bucks. Quickly, people abused this, and I have no idea what they were thinking because obviously Epic would stop it. So an update was released where Epic reversed all of the fake purchases and made people's accounts go in the negative. This snowballed into an even bigger problem because they realized that innocent people were then affected by that. Yeah, some people who simply bought cosmetics at the wrong time got their V-Bucks stripped from them. Luckily, Epic caught on and were able to fix the problem, but still, not a great situation. When Epic tries to do stuff about it, most times they give us solutions to issues we have never had. What I'm trying to say is if you were around during the early days of the season, you would know that the High Boss Queen was not that difficult. In fact, when we all fought her for the first time, we kind of assumed it was going to be a tough battle, only to just melt her super quick. That's why fans were extra confused just days later when Fortnite revealed their new update, nerfing the Queen Boss even more. It just made players think, what is going on at Epic Games right now? Those are the most hated things about Fortnite Season 4. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.